Florida has now passed its immigration laws. It is said to be the toughest in the nation. Hello, everyone. This is Andre McKinney Dorval, licensed immigration attorney. I am located in Florida. Guys, there's a lot going on between immigration at the federal level and certainly immigration at Florida's state level. Now, we have been reporting to you the tug of war between Florida lawmakers and the governor with regards to what will an immigration piece of legislation look like for the state of Florida. Well, guys, it looks like both the lawmakers and the governor have been working behind the scenes, and they have now put into place the law that will govern immigration enforcement in the state of Florida. Now, what I want to talk about in this particular video are key provisions of the law. I also want us to discuss concerns and potential challenges, guys. Now, categorically, this new law creates stricter penalties for criminal offenses, and that is as applied to undocumented defendants or non-citizens. So first off, it is now a crime for someone to illegally enter the United States and then enter the state of Florida. That is the crime of illegal entry. If that is committed on a second and subsequent offense, that becomes a crime of illegal reentry. Now, for these crimes, the law requires minimum mandatory sentencing. It can either be 9 months, a year and 1 day, or 2-year minimum prison sentence. Another stricter penalty as to undocumented defendants, and that is the law requires mandatory death penalty for capital offenses such as first-degree murder. The law also elevates certain offenses from misdemeanors to felonies. Another stricter penalty provision of the law includes, and that is for undocumented immigrants convicted of felonies while affiliated with criminal gang, they too now face mandatory minimum sentences. If it's for a third-degree felony, it's 5 years, a second-degree felony, 15 years, and for a first-degree felony, it is 30 years. Let's talk about some of the concerns that this new law poses. Now, namely, this new law in Florida is going to touch and concern many undocumented or non-citizens in the state of Florida. Many people that are undocumented, they do drive to get to work, to take care of many of their everyday lives, whether you're going to the grocery store or picking up a child from school. And if that is the case, driving without a driver's license or valid driver's license and having an encounter with a law enforcement officer will certainly bring an individual within the scope or purview of this new piece of legislation. Another key concern regarding the new law is that an individual who finds themselves subject to this particular provision, if you are convicted of a felony or if you acquire convictions of 2 or more misdemeanors, these will serve as criminal bars to temporary protective status if ever a particular country that you are from is designated, redesignated, or extended for temporary protective status. Now, let's go over some of the challenges. Now, some of the challenges with regards to this new legislation is that it seemingly treats individuals different based on their immigration status or undocumented status and or nationality. It also treats or penalizes differently undocumented defendants. And so This serves as a potential area for lawsuits against the state of Florida. Now, I do want to note the state of Florida has allocated a significant amount of funding for this new piece of law, approximately 300 million. If the state is sued, that price tag will certainly increase. So it begs the question as far as how effective or how far will this new Florida legislation go if it is in fact challenged? Another concern with regards to this new legislation, and that is, in some cases, the local prosecutor will have to be able to prove whether a defendant is undocumented. That is traditionally not a part of the burden that a criminal prosecutor would be proving beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. But now that the new law in Florida, for certain of these crimes charged, that is something that prosecutors will now have to embark upon in their case in chief. So again, there's so much that remains to be seen with this new piece of legislation. Without a doubt, there will be impacts. To what degree it remains to be seen. Guys, I do want to remind you that May 7th is the deadline for the Real ID Act, and that is to be compliant with the law as it pertains to a driver's license and ID card. We published a video with a resource link for you to use and click on to determine what the requirements are. In addition, if you are someone who has a risk of deportation or someone who has a risk of criminal prosecution concerning this new law passed in Florida, you want to be sure that you speak with a licensed immigration attorney. Guys, I also want to remind you that regardless of your status, everyone has the same basic rights, and that is the right to remain silent, the right not to sign anything, and you do have the right to speak to an attorney. I thank you for watching this video. It's for general information and update on the laws that have been passed in the state of Florida. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.